Hi StudyMates, welcome back to Let's Study IELTS program. I'm Ayu and today we are going to learn about IELTS listening note-taking techniques. Let's make this fun and easy to understand. As I previously mentioned, my name is Ayu and there are several achievements that I have. First, I have 563 in TOEFL score and I am an awardee of Kennedy Luger and Yes program. Objective materials for this chapter is to explain more about the purposes and sections of IELTS listening part. There are also purposes of note-taking techniques, do and don't, and practice. Let's jump into materials. The purposes of IELTS listening is to assess your ability to understand spoken English in real-life situations, also to test your skill in identifying main ideas and specific details. There are also several purposes to measure your understanding of speaker opinions, attitudes, and intentions, check if you can follow the development of conversation or monologue, and lastly, prepare you for using English in academic, social, or work-related contexts. There are several sections of IELTS listening part. The section 1, in social survival for everyday conversation, the type usually is dialogue between two people. The context is everyday situation, for example, booking a hotel or asking for information. The skill tested for this section is understanding basic factual information or catchy names, numbers, addresses, and price. The purpose to assess your ability to process practical and transactional information in real-world settings. Section 2, in social survival or monologue, the type for this section usually is monologue by one speaker. The context usually public announcement or descriptions, for example, tour guides or instructions. The skill tested is following a structured explanation or speeches and identifying location, direction, and services. The purpose of these sections to evaluate your ability to follow spoken information and descriptions in public or semi-public environments. In section 3, in academic discussion, the type usually is conversation between 2 and 4 speakers. In section 3 is usually academic discussion. The type is conversation between 2 to 4 speakers. The context is academic or training context, for example, students discussing assignment with a tutor. The skill tested for this section is understanding academic discussion and group interactions, recognizing opinions, attitude, and shift in topics. The purpose to test your skills in following collaborative academic communications. And section 4, academic monologue. The type usually is a monologue, for example, university lecture. The context for academic topic, for example, biology classes, psychology classes, or history. The skill tested is your understanding main ideas and supporting details, and following complex ideas and technical language. The purpose, assess your ability to understand academic presentations and lectures without visual support. These are the summary of the sections in IELTS listening part. We'll go through in section 1 for this chapter. So the type is dialogue, everyday life context, and purpose for practical and social survival. The purpose of note-taking techniques. So we jump into the main idea of the chapter. The purpose of note-taking techniques is to capture key details quickly. So this is the real reasons, quickly. For example, we need to capture the details of names, number, dates, or reasons. Also, the purpose is to track the flow of conversation or lecture. Track the flow. Next, to remember the information across questions while the audio continues. So we'll usually have several questions advanced present to us, and the audio usually will play once. So we need to capture all the information needed before the audio is expired. And lastly, to reduce stress and improve concentration. So we need to concentrate only on the questions given. So we don't need to remember all the details that are usually take a long audio, usually around 2 until 3 minutes. The purpose of note-taking techniques. So we jump into the main idea of the chapter. The purpose of note-taking techniques is to capture key details quickly. So this is the real reasons, quickly. For example, we need to capture the details of names, number, dates, or reasons. Also, the purpose is to track the flow of conversation or lecture. Track the flow. Next, to remember the information across questions while the audio continues. So we'll usually have several questions advanced present to us. And pro tip for StudyMates, since IELTS listening audio is played only once, your notes should be quick, light, and strategic. Then you refer back to them to fill in the answer accurately during short gaps between questions. In note-taking techniques, usually we need to learn some steps to make your note-taking more enjoyable. For example, first, use abbreviations and symbol. For example, we can use EG for example, this symbol for N, right arrow for leads to or next, also a dollar signs for money. Secondly, write keywords only, not a full sentence. For example, dev for development or info for information. So you can write shorter words for each information that you want to know. Thirdly, structure notes vertically to follow the speaker sequence. So you need to write from top to down for each conversations given. Or highlight contrast word. But however and instead, you can choose it. Lastly, don't worry about grammar or neatness. Speed matters most because, hey, it's your note-taking technique, not everyone. Also, in note-taking techniques, there are two more ways for StudyMates to understand it better. The first one is X for the trapboard. It's similar to the structure notes vertically to follow the speaker sequence and highlight contrast words, but however instead. So the third and the fourth point. In X the trapdoor, when you hear a speaker correct themselves or change their mind, draw a quick X or strike through over that information in your notes. For example, I used to work at the Oxford Street branch, but I actually moved to Camden last year. So when you write Oxford and suddenly the speaker is saying they move, you can write that X to cancel the Oxford information, and you can write Camden next to it to make your note more presentable and being the accurately. This prevents writing in the first but incorrect answer. And second, in note-taking techniques, there are anticipation marking. Before the audio starts, try to predict the type of word, noun, number, verb, place, and etc., or content that should fill the blank. Then, write a symbol next to it. There are the example, and your brain becomes primed to listen a specific type of words, which improve your accuracy and speed in identifying answer. So, this is the section 1 in IELTS listening part. Usually, StudyMates will given this worksheet that will be filling the gap. There are usually dots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And before we jump into the practice sessions, there will be the example of it. I will provide you this worksheet for this example, but in practice, we will use a multiple choice for the purpose of StudyMates lessons. So, here we go.
Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Excuse me, would you mind if I asked you some questions? We're doing a survey on transport.
Yes, that's okay.
First of all, can I take your name?
Yes, it's Sadie Jones.
Thanks very much. And could I have your date of birth? Just the year will do, actually. Is that all right?
Yes, that's fine. It's 1991.
So next your postcode, please.
It's DW3Q7YZ.
Great, thanks. Is that in Wells?
No, it's actually in Harburn. Wells isn't far from there, though.
I really like that area. My grandmother lived there when I was a kid.
Yes, it is nice.
Right, so now I want to ask you some questions about how you travelled here today. Did you use public transport?
Yes, I came by bus.
Okay, and that was today. It's the 24th of April, isn't it?
Isn't it the 25th? No, actually, you're right.
Haha, and what was the reason for your trip today? I can see you've got some shopping with you.
Yes, I did some shopping, but the main reason I came here was to go to the dentist.
That's not much fun. Hope it was nothing serious.
No, it was just a checkup. It's fine.
Good. Do you normally travel by bus into the city centre?
Yes, I stopped driving in ages ago because parking was so difficult to find, and it cost so much.
I see.
The bus is much more convenient, too. It only takes about 30 minutes.
That's good. So where did you start your journey?
At the bus stop on Claxby Street.
Is that CLAXBY?
That's right.
Okay, StudyMates, after you listen to this conversation, you should able to write the informations in the worksheet that you are already provided. So first, the postcode, it's DW3Q7YNZ, and the date of the bus journey is 24th of April. And the reason for the trip to visit to the dentist. And the female is traveled by the bus because the cost of parking is too high. Parking. And got on the bus on the Claxby Street. Okay. And here are the transcript sections for these previous conversations. StudyMates can pause it to relearn or recheck your note-taking techniques. Is it already a good one, or you can improve it later. Do and don'ts in note-taking techniques. Do. Write briefly and use symbols, as previously mentioned, and focus on numbers, names, and keywords. Don'ts. Write a full sentences is just mistaken, and focus too much on writing and forget to listen. So StudyMates just need to write the details informations that are already given. And also don't ignore the question structure. Understanding the sentence format help you predict what kind of word is needed. For example, a place, number, adjective, and ensure your answer fits grammarly and meets the word count limit, which is critical for accuracy and scoring. Okay, StudyMates, we will jump into the practice sessions. You will given 10 questions that will be answered with first audio in the question 1 to 5 and the second audio from the question 6 to 10. You need to write in your paper with your pencil or pen, and the first audio will only be played once, and later on we will answer together the question 1 to 5 and so on. With second audio we will answer question 6 to 10. Okay, StudyMates, are you ready? Let's go to the first audio.
Hello, how can I help you?
Hello, I want to rent an apartment. I saw your advertisement about two-bedroom apartment on Bridge Street.
Bridge Street 32, that's it?
Exactly. But I have a couple of questions.
Yes, I'm listening.
Does rent include all the utilities, such as gas, electricity, phone, etc.?
Yes, sure. You are only responsible to pay the rent. The lease includes cost for such utilities as gas, heat, water, electricity, and phone.
Great. And what about the internet?
Unfortunately, the internet is not connected. But you shouldn't worry about that. If you wish, you can contact the local providers to set up the connection.
Okay. And what kind of public transport is near the apartment?
It is very close to public transport. Both underground and bus station are about 2 blocks away.
Very good. I think I'll rent this apartment.
Very nice. Could you tell me your full name, please?
Yes. It's John Hooper. Hooper is spelled with double O. H-double-O. Then P-E-R.
Thank you, John. I'm Mary Dixon, and I'll be your apartment manager.
Thank you.
Okay, StudyMates, that's the end of audio section 1, and we will next to the first questions. Questions 1. What kind of property is John inquiring about? And as you already know, StudyMates, there are 5 multiple choices that you can see in these questions, and you can look in your note takings. What kind of property is John inquiring about? And the answer is C, a 2-bedroom apartment, because John is wanting a 2-bedroom apartment, probably in England. Next, second questions. What is included in the rental plan? Second questions, what is included in the rental plan? A, only water and gas. B, utilities except for the telephone. C, all utilities including gas, water, electricity, and phone. D, no utilities are included. And E, only the internet and gas. Based on what already the conversation given, StudyMates need to know what included in the rental plan. And the answer is C, all utilities including gas, water, electricity, and phone. They also included heat, and these particular questions, the heat will transfer into gas. Let's move on to the third questions. Question number 3. What does the agent say about the internet connections? A, it is included in the rent. B, it is currently unavailable but can be arranged. C. It is the tenant's responsibility to fix. D. It is already installed and working. E. There is no internet access at all. And the answer is B. It is currently unavailable but can be arranged. Option A is incorrect because the internet service is not included in the rental plan. Option C is also incorrect because the internet service in the apartment is not broken, just not yet installed and can be set up. Option D is incorrect because the internet service in the apartment is not yet available, and option E is incorrect because the internet access is available but can be installed at the tenant request, not completely unavailable. So the correct answer is C. And the correct answer is B. Question number 4. What does the woman say about public transport? A. It is not available nearby. B. The train station is within 10 minutes walk. C. The apartment is far from any transport service. D. There are 2 transport options within 2 blocks. And E. Only buses are available in the area. The answer is D. There are 2 transport options within 2 blocks. Why not option A? Option A is incorrect because there is access to transportation around the apartment. Option B is incorrect because there is no information about the distance to the train stations. C is incorrect because there is information stating in the apartment is near public transportation. And option E is incorrect because there is underground service which usually refers to the subway system. So the correct answer is D because the apartment owner said there are underground and bus stations near the apartment. Question number 5. How does John spell his surname? There are several choices. And the answer is yes, it's A. Hooper. So when you listen to the conversations, John actually spelled how he pronounced the surname. He said Hooper, not the other choices. This is the transcript sections for the first audio. So StudyMates, if you have a trouble with your note taking or there are some mistakes when you answer the first 5 questions, you can correct it in these transcript sections. Or maybe you can play it back to listen again. So let's move on to the audio section 2. Let's listen together, and also StudyMates, prepare your paper and pen, okay?
Now, we need to meet to sign a lease agreement.
Okay. What documents should I bring?
First of all, we require proof of your identity.
Then, I can bring my driving license.
I'm sorry, but driving licenses are not accepted. Could you bring your passport?
Yes, sure. And do you require a tax bill?
No, we are not requiring any bills. But you need to present your current employment contract.
No problem, I have it. Anything else?
Yes, we also need a reference from a friend or colleague, confirming your character.
Okay. And what about a reference from an employer?
We used to ask tenants for this reference a few years ago. But now we don't need it anymore. As well as your recent payslips, they are not required.
Very good. I think I have all the documents. Is it possible to meet you today?
Yes. Is 5:30 p.m. convenient for you?
Unfortunately, I'm busy until 6 p.m.
Then we can meet at 6:30 p.m.
Yes, 6:30 is very good for me. I'll be at your office by that time.
I think it's better to meet directly at your future apartment, because we'll anyway make a visit.
Oh, you're right. See you soon.
Thank you. See you soon.
Okay, StudyMates, are you done writing your note? Let's move on to the questions number 6. Which document is not accepted as proof of identity? A. Passport. B. Driver license. C. Employment contract. D. Utility bill. And E. Reference letter. Option A is incorrect because the passport is requested as the primary form of identification. Option C is incorrect because the employment contract is not used as one of the identification requirement. Is employment contract if part of your identification? No. Option D and E is also the same because payslip and reference letter is not as part in proof of identifications. It's just a part of document. So the answer is B, driver license. Question number 7. Which of the following document is specifically required? A. Recent payslip. B. Utility bills. C. Driving license. D. Current employment contract. E. Work reference letter. The answer is D. Current employment contract. Option A is incorrect because John was not asked to bring a utility bill. B is also incorrect because John was not asked to bring a tax bill. C is incorrect because John was not asked to bring a driving license because driving license cannot accepted as part of identification. And E is incorrect because John was not asked to bring a work reference letter. So the answer is D. Question number 8. What kind of reference does the agent requested? A letter from a former employer. B. A recommendation from a previous landlord. C. A character reference from a friend. D. A letter from a colleague. E. A financial reference. The answer is C. A character reference from a friend. Option A is incorrect because John was not asked to a reference from a former employer. Option B, D, and E also incorrect because there are no reference from a previous landlord, a letter from a colleague, or financial reference. So the answer for the reference that the agent requests is a character reference from a friend. Questions number 9. What time will the meeting be held? A. 5:30, B. 6 p.m., C. 6:30, D. C. 7 p.m., and E. the next morning. The answer is C. 6:30 p.m. because both agent and John will be available after 6. So the 6:30 is the answer because it's also stated in the conversation. It's not 7, it's not the next morning, it's not before 6 p.m. So the answer is C. 6:30 p.m. Are you writing it down in your note? You should. And the last question, where will the meeting take place? A. At a nearby cafe. B. At the client's apartment. C. Over the phone. D. At the rental office. E. At the train station. The answer is B. At the client's apartment. Option A is incorrect because they did not meet at a nearby cafe. Option C is incorrect because they will meet face to face, but this is not the main point. Option D is incorrect because it was John who suggested meeting at the apartment, not the landlord. Option E is incorrect because they did not meet at the train station. So the answer is B, at the client's apartment, because it's a mutual agreement. They will meet at the future apartment of John. Here are the transcript sections for the second audio. So StudyMates, you can recheck all your note taking. Is it correct from the previous 5 and 10 questions? If it's yes, good job! Okay, here are the key main takeaways for the IELTS listening note-taking techniques. There are 4 sections for the IELTS taking techniques, and for this material, we only focus for the section 1 in dialogue between 2 people. StudyMates already given 2 examples for these everyday life conversations for practical and social survival. There are also section 2, 3, and 4 that StudyMates can use these note-taking techniques. These techniques is not only applicable in the first sections, it also can be useful for all the section in listening part, also maybe in speaking or probably in some of the readings, but it's most useful in the listening part. So StudyMates need to write it down. Faster, do use abbreviation and symbol. Write keywords only, not a full sentence. Structure notes vertically to follow the speaker's sequence. Highlight contrast word and don't worry about grammar or neatness. Speed matters more because the conversation is flowing and there are no stopping for the conversations. And please don't write full sentences and don't focus too much on the writing so you forget to listen. Also, don't ignore the question structure. Great job, StudyMates! That's it for this video. Keep up the practice and remember that staying consistent makes all the difference. You can also find another audio to practice your note-taking techniques. Find a different audio for different sections, so section 2, 3, and 4 to practice your note-taking techniques. Or probably you want to explore more in section 1, you can find it all the internet. You got it, StudyMates! See you in the next lessons. Bye-bye!